Get the old party started here. Everything's in a high gear. Oh boy, oh boy. Nice. Hello, everybody. There we go. Nice. How's it going out there? Perfect. Hey, pre-show time, right? Pre-show time. There you go. Well, welcome. Party gets started in 7.5 minutes. Well, actually, 7 minutes. Coming up on 7 minutes there. I'm watching the wrong thing. Hi, Ember. How's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome to tonight's show. Make sure you share it with your friends as you come on. Here we go. We'll put that on there. Oh, boy. Let's go out there. Oh, I got to go in the other way. I got to do it different so I can share it to all my friends. Oh, my gosh. What's going on? Perfect. Loving it. Here we go. Sharing it. And bada bing. There you go. Very simple right at the bottom there. Just hit that share button and share it out to your friends. We're going to talk about Oprah. We're going to talk about Oprah's speech. Tonight I'm going to talk about all that good stuff. I've been kind of plaguing about it in the newsletter. And and I lost a few people along the way. People that are not part of my tribe obviously did not like Oprah, her speech, or change or something, and I lost a few people along the way in the last few days. But that's okay with me. We just don't all belong to the same tribe, and that's what makes it unique. Thanks for all the questions and the feedback and the well wishers and that on the cold. The cold is now, I think, right at the very, very end. I have like a 0.0005 little bit of the cold left, and I think perfect timing because it looks like the whole nation is all part of the flu this week and right now. Oh yeah, wait. I actually had a few little, let's see. I got about 5 minutes left. Let's do that. There we go. I actually have some music. That was, I don't know if you can even hear it or not, but I was going to see if I could incorporate some tunage in the beginning here before we go into the show, but not. It's a jazzy little tune that I can hear. Maybe you can't even hear it. There you go. But we're going to talk about Oprah. We're going to talk about trolls because the trolls all swung it around because we didn't want anyone to be popular that's opposing us. So we got the trolls, and then we got Time's Up, right? We got that whole movement that is starting to just take off, and I'm glad for that. We're going to talk about equal pay, equal rights, all that good stuff tonight. Getting a little heavy tonight with the show, but once in a while you got to do that. Hi, Sonia. Welcome aboard. Thanks for coming aboard tonight. Amanda. Oh my gosh. Hello, Amanda. Welcome, welcome. Mom had a big birthday yesterday. Excuse me. Well, welcome aboard. Thanks for coming aboard tonight. We're going to get the party started in about 3.5 minutes for now with the regular show. Like I said, and as you can see up there, the cost of not following your heart is spending the rest of your life wishing you had. I think we all follow our hearts when we're young. Amanda, listen to this. We all kind of follow our hearts, and then as time progresses, we kind of lose our way a little bit. We get caught up in the wrangles of bills and things and relationships and all that good stuff. But follow your heart. Listen to your heart. It's it's nice to be heard. If you haven't been following the last couple of weeks in that, you can hit those on YouTube or on my Dave Stelma channel. You can see the replays. Boy, I was having a hard time even talking. There was one week we didn't even do it because I just couldn't do it. And last night, I was going to come on last night, but migraine hit me. Just zonked me out. And tonight, everything's good. Yeah. So just a little bit that's in there still in the throat. So that's not bad. If you have questions, comments, throw them in there. Hi, Danny. How are you doing? If you have questions, comments, throw them into the comment section there. Certainly bring them along. Chit chat amongst yourselves, you can, or whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. That's what the comment section's for, right? We will get this party started in a little under 2 minutes from now. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I think you're doing good. Good. Had a little rough day, did you? It's okay. We all get them. I bet you guys can't even hear that music, can you? Well, I tried. Tried to pump it in here, but there we go. How's that? Try to get it in through other system. Couldn't do that either. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. We'll see where we can. Oh, you can. Oh, good. Just something to jazz up this beginning. Otherwise, it gets a little bit, I don't know, maybe it's just me. It gets a little bit bored. Hey, I just hit my head. How's that? 100 minutes ago, we're going to talk about Oprah first, the speech. I think that was just phenomenal. I love it. I think it was fantastic. And then we're going to talk about how the trolls try to take it all away. Oh, yeah, you said Samuel. Yeah, that June ad. Yeah, we're passing around here. Wisconsin is one of those states that was in the red zone, I should say, or something like that. I don't know. In the red for flu, and which is the high contamination area or something of that sort. But yeah, here we go. I'm gonna take that down. All right. Boy, music doesn't do well for me. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's show. I'm Dave Stelma, if you didn't know. Share this out to your friends. We're going to talk about Oprah, her Oprah's speech. We're going to talk about the trolls, how they tried to take it away from everybody, from her and everybody else. And time's up right after the intro. So if you didn't catch it, Oprah had a speech on Sunday night. I don't know how you could miss it because it was all over this great nation of ours, Facebook, social media. Everybody was replaying the speech, and for a great reason, because it was very well written, very well said. And very well done, and it's all about equality. It really is. It's raising the bar, and a couple of things. I'm going to get to that later as far as time's up. But Oprah's speech was so inspirational that it made some people very much fearful. There was people out there that all of a sudden saw that because everyone is looking for inspiration. They're looking for someone to aspire to. They're looking for someone that's going to come down and, get on. We're going to all jump on the white horse with them and ride off into the sunset. because things are just a little bit panicky right now and a little bit fearful, and they're trying to, and some people are trying to cultivate that. So what happened is, hi Lisa, welcome aboard. So what happened was that along the way, well, here, let's just talk about the speech first. Very inspirational. Gave some great pointers as far as his history is concerned. Gave helped put into focus what's happening in the nation right now. We're in a change. And there's going to be some people that fight change, and there's going to be some people that embrace change. But for the majority of the people out there, they're going to be fearful of change. And change means that the way things have been are going to be all different. People that were in, I don't want to say control, but people that were in positions of superiority and that are now are fearful that they're going to lose that power, right? They're going to lose the power that are in there. And we have things that are changing right now. And Oprah just put a spotlight on it. And it was a wonderful and eloquent speech that she gave. And it just made everyone stand up and go, you know, this can happen. And what happens when you have someone that, and if you look back in history, every time there has been a very momentous speech, inspirational speech, moment in time, there's going to be people that are going to strive to take that power away because they fear that that's going to have to give up some of their power, or they're going to be just out of that power range at all. So Oprah's speech was very inspirational. Hi, Butto. Very inspirational, very driving. After that happened, you saw nothing but Twitter lit up with it, Facebook lit up with it. NBC took the reins of that too, because they made sure that that speech was segmented out and put on their YouTube channel so that people could share that. They're not dumb, because that was marketing, right? And that, so I did it. I put it, instead of writing my daily email letter that you can sign up for, that instead of that, I just posted on there and said, I hope you saw this inspirational speech. And in fact, I didn't even see it when it happened, because I'm an early morning guy. So I went to bed. I didn't even watch it. And then the next morning, all I saw like lit up on my phone in Twitter and Facebook, and that was this speech. So I found it and I just put it into that daily email so that people could see it. I want to put it out there even farther. There's change on the horizon, and it's just outside of our fingertips, but it's getting very, very close. And I wanted, if you haven't seen it, go on, watch it. Watch it again and again and again, because this is a moment in history that you're all going to remember where you were when you saw it. It's no different than Martin Luther King's I Got a Dream. I Have a Dream speech. There's all different momentous speeches along the way, and I put this right up there with them. She didn't invent it. She didn't invent the movement. The movement's already there. But she put a spotlight on it that only Oprah can do. And I applaud her for doing that, because out of that, ever since then, we're having conversations. We're having, it just took something that was kind of, the momentum was kind of, I don't want to say dying out, but it was kind of going stagnant, and it juiced it up again. It rocketed up a full 10 notches. So it's up there again, and the power is back in there. And that's what it needed. It needed a little bit more momentum, a little bit more focus. And so on the Golden Globes, that's what it did. Took that occasion to do that. And a few things that come out of that, and I'm going to iterate them now, and I'm going to reiterate them later. A couple of things that really come out of that is to get that power to change things, we have to do a couple of things. We have to listen to our heart and let our heart guide us. I always say our heart will guide us, our gut will tell us if we're right or wrong, and our head just messes us up because we start thinking and rethinking, and that just messes us up. But follow our hearts. And when you follow your heart, you're always going to know if you're doing something right or wrong, right? You're going to follow where that has to be. And I want to make something very clear here. She was putting focus on women in show business and everywhere around the world. And I think it's just, there's all different angles that this comes from, okay? Or that this happens in. So it can be class, it can be sexual orientation, it can be gender, it can be all different facets where someone in a superior position may strive to take advantage of someone that's in a lesser position. And that's what we're striving to do, is make that equal. Yes, there's always going to be someone that's going to be in a superior position, but by talking about this, bringing it out in the open, and when something happens, letting your heart guide you on what that right decision is. Do you walk out of that room? Do you ask for their superior to talk to them and discuss it? And it can be that you're going to be out of a job. It can be those things, but then there's recourse that's going to change those, what happens as far as the future. And right now is a time in our country, in the United States. If you're watching me in a different country, I'm talking strictly about the United States. That's the only thing I can give you any direction on or input about. When you listen to your heart, you're going to be guided to do the right thing. And there's many situations. Amber and I have had many conversations about this, because when I was younger and I worked in restaurants, or you work in certain situations where there's sexual innuendos, things like that, and but the time for that, I think we're beyond that now. That there's always going to be a little bit of that, but you have to know what that line is in the sand. And the interpretation, I always say, walk in the other person's shoes. If it makes them feel uncomfortable, then say you're sorry, say you're wrong, and I'm sorry, I pushed the limit, and I apologize, and move on from that. But the time is now. We're going to change the way things are, and we need to start that change now for your children, your children's children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren that are coming. I'm 53, and that's going to be, that's my focus, is what is the legacy that I want to leave here? And I want to make this a much better place. And I thank Oprah for bringing a spotlight onto that movement and re-energizing it, and keeping it going, because that's what we have to do. We got to keep the focus on there, have the conversations at work, and I'm going to get a little bit farther into that. But what happened, I'm coming up to segment 2 here, what happened on Monday, because there was this power shift. All of a sudden, there was focus on Oprah's speech, the empowerment, and the people that are still in those positions, because there's many other, we've barely cracked the surface on this. We barely scraped the surface on it. And the people that are fearful of this then started to change the conversation, and they changed it in a very unique way. They were fearful, and I put business up there because it's their business. This is what they're in the business of. Their business is to troll. And by trolling on Facebook and on Twitter, and what trolls do, if you're not acquainted with that, what trolls do is they redirect the conversation. So Monday, somewhere about mid-morning, all of a sudden the conversation went from the power of that speech, how we're going to change how we're going to change industries and how we're going to change perspective and what we need to do and things like that. It shifted from that to Oprah for president. And all of a sudden people were discussing all through Monday, and it just kept perpetuating about Oprah for president. And then there were trolls that were going into people's comments and that on Facebook. I'm mainly on Facebook. And there were people that went into Facebook on the comments and they're just trolling. They redirected that conversation. Oh, did you hear what Oprah said? And then there was all these different rumors and statements and saying that Oprah, and then as far as that goes, there was also another video, which I don't know if it's been out for a while or not, but all of a sudden I saw this other video that was popping up. And if you're in my personal page, I just posted a link to the Snopes, and I know not everybody believes in Snopes, but I'm going to tell you, fact check it. It's a re-edited version. There's another video that came out from an old BBC interview. They reworked it and edited it very well so that words that were said were totally taken out of context and put back in to make it look like she was saying something else. And of course about people dying and all this stuff, because they're trying to redirect, because they're afraid that all of a sudden Oprah took the power away. She shifted the power from old school staying the same, excuse me, old school and boys club and however else you want to put it, to Oprah and change and women rising up in power and things of that sort. And so they wanted to cut that. They wanted to diminish that. They wanted to somehow snuff out that candle and that flame that was flickering and glowing there. And so what they did is they started doing little blips in that, you know, Oprah for president. Oh, look at that. She, the people, and then you got the other side saying, you know, you're all saying that, you know, a celebrity shouldn't run for president. It should be about, and now you're jumping on the Oprah bandwagon, blah, 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 back and forth. And it totally took away, it started taking away and diminishing that flame. And it started taking away the power of that speech. And that's what trolls do. It's their business. It's their business. They get paid to come up with unique ways to redirect the conversation. I did it as a kid in school, in high school. Anybody here that's, hey, Don, how you doing? People, hey, I got some high school mates that were on there. And if you had classes with me, I did that. I remember redirecting the misdirection, you know, asking those few phrases so that the teacher would get off on a tangent. I said this described it in my newsletter and that too. You know, I used to be a master at that back in the day until I was called out on it. One of my teachers just called me out and said, hey, I know you want to just waste the day, but everybody else here wants to be here to learn. And then I just sat there with, you know, egg on my face, in a manner of speaking. And, you know, it taught me a lesson. That was one of my aha moments in life. It's almost like I'm there now. I can totally see it and feel it. And I feel embarrassment and all that when I even talk about the situation, because it's what I did. And that's what trolls get paid for. Trolls get paid to disrupt the conversation. And depending upon who you're working for as a troll, that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to redirect the conversation. That's what they did with Oprah. So we had a powerful speech that all of a sudden put fear into people, and fear is false events appearing real. So they felt the fear. They felt like, oh, we're going to lose power because of this, and things are going to change, and we don't want change. We want it to remain the same because then we have the power. So then they redirected the conversation. Oprah for president, then putting out, and you're probably going to see other stuff coming out within the week, and there's probably stuff out there now that I don't even see. But trying to take the energy away from the movement. Oprah is not the movement. The movement is there. Oprah is just shining a light on it at the moment in time to re-energize and to give it even some more power, because she can do that. People on that realm of things, and whether you agree with Oprah, you like Oprah, you don't like Oprah, I don't care. She has a redirection that she can do. There's certain people that can do that, and she has the means to do that. And so trolls are out there. Now, how can we, and now taking on a side note, let's go on a sidebar as far as trolls go. So when you start a conversation on, let's say, Facebook, if you start a conversation and all of a sudden you see something redirected, you have one of two things you can do, or both. So when it happens on one of your posts, you can either delete that person's comment, hide it, delete it, or you can just delete the whole post. If all of a sudden from what you want to say, and Facebook posts are very unique, because you can say something and it's the interpretation of how the person reading it perceives it, right? And so all of a sudden I get this so long. See you later, Butto. And what happens, what you can do then is, if it's redirected, because all of a sudden I can post something and in the feed all of a sudden it just starts to go south. It goes off on a tangent that I don't want it to go. And so I can either hide those posts from those people, delete those posts from those people, so that it gets back on track of where I wanted that, where that post was going, or I just delete the post altogether. If it just starts going south and all of a sudden I catch up with it, I start reading it and it's just off on a tangent, or it went so, I just delete out the post altogether. I can start a new post. And that's really what you need to do. If all of a sudden it starts going south, and if the trolls, if you have a business of any sort and you start posting things and it's just the trolls start coming in, because trolls are either paid to do this, or they're people that are bored and they feel safe behind their computer. So do those things. Either delete the single comment so that you can get back on track with where you wanted it to go, or delete the whole post and start a new one. Just start a new one. I get it all the time too. I shouldn't say all the time. I get posts on my business page, on Dave Stelma Facebook page. I get posts all the time, or comments in the comment section for trolls, or I don't even know what these aren't even real, aren't really trolls, but I guess they are in a certain vein, for selling movies or taking it off to a certain website or something, or whatever it is. And if I'm not on top of it, I have to delete those out right away. If I'm not on top of it, someone might click through that. I have no idea. It could be a virus, could be something else, could be something very vulgar that would be put in the comment sections, and someone clicks on it and it takes them someplace not very good. And I don't want to be associated with that, so I got to make sure that I'm on top of it. If I don't catch it in time, someone that's following me may do that. So there's different ways that trolls do this, but delete, delete, delete. That's all I'm going to say. And if you know someone that has a business, talk to them about this. Tell them about how the trolls are and what they do, because in this case, it redirected a conversation, but and then get that conversation back on track, right? But in other cases, it could totally sabotage a website or something of that sort, because you're connected to it. So tell people, if you know anyone that's in a business or has a business, has a Facebook page, has any of those things, and it can happen on a website too, but in comment sections, anywhere there's comments, they can put those in, but let them know about it, or put them in contact with me and I'll educate them on that. But on the final note here, I want to talk about time's up. Time's up, America. We're time for change. The time is changing, and on all different levels. It doesn't have to just be harassment. sexual harassment. I mean, that's what brought it into the limelight. But now we're seeing different things come out of it. Equal pay is a big aspect. Gender equality is a big aspect. But equal pay in the workplace. Today we saw USA Today came out with, and I forget the movie, but Mark Wahlberg got paid $1.5 million to do the reshoot with where they edited out Kevin Spacey's part in whatever movie that is. I'm not trying to give free publicity for a movie, but Mark Wahlberg got $1.5 million, and the actress only got $1,000 because she was going by the pay for day. Hi, Jesse. How's it going? And I put that in my newsletter. I talked about that today because a couple of things there. Everybody on news feeds, on Twitter, on that, we're talking about how it's just negotiating, you know, or did Mark Wahlberg have a bigger part, more lines or something, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to call foul on that one. And we're going to start on that level, but we're going to bring it down to our level too. If you're in the workplace, one of the first things that we're told to do is not talk about how much money we're going to give you this, or we're offering you this for a salary, but don't tell anybody. Don't talk about how much you make here. Don't talk about anything. And I think that that's totally wrong. Excuse me. I think that that's totally wrong. If for some, and we're one of the only nations that does that. We're supposed to hide what we're making, how much salary, or how much, you know, do we get paid, or something of that sort. And hi, Susan. We're supposed to hide that. We're supposed to be in the background. Talk about it, and I'll be the first one to do it. You know, talk about it to coworkers, talk about it to people the same. Because if, in this case, if Mark Wahlberg said, well, how much is everybody else making? And it does happen. If you remember a little sitcom called Friends, way back in the day, well, one of the things that they did as a cast is they all came together, and when it came to negotiating their contracts, they all negotiated as one. So each one got equal pay. It didn't matter if you were Monica, or if you were, I don't know, what were the other names? Joey. They all made the same amount of money. And so it does happen. It's just what your credibility is and where your focus is. If you're in the focus of greed, and I'm going to call Mark Wahlberg out. I don't know him personally, but I'm going to call him out on this because he can't blame his manager. He can't blame his agent. He can't blame whoever negotiated it, because he probably wasn't even involved in that. But you can ask that question. If you know that women make half the amount of men in the realm that you're in, whether it's a movie or whether it's at working, I don't know, at Humana or wherever you work, if you know that that's happening, then why not ask the question? If you're the one that you know is making the money, why wouldn't you ask that question? I don't understand that. If you want to change what's out there, because everyone right now is trying to either jump on the bandwagon or hide in the shadows. It's one of the two. And if you're jumping on the bandwagon, that's what your priority should be. Ask the question. And if they say, oh yeah, she's only making yeah. See you, Don. If that's the only question that you have, or are going to ask of it, you know, that's where the change happens, because it's a proactive thing. As far as sexual harassment or harassment in that, yeah, you can either say me too, or you can say, just say no. You know, no means no. And that's the one that I drive home for any guy that's out there. And I'm not trying to take away from, but if you're no means no. And I knew that way back when I was a kid and adolescent, and you're going out on your first dates and everything. And that was just drilled into me. No means no. So if you're trying to get that kiss, and if they go, I'm not feeling, back in the day when you're kids, most, at least where I grew up, you weren't bold enough to say, oh no, you know, I'm not feeling it with you. I'm not feeling the love. I just don't want to do that right now. I don't want to kiss you. It's like you felt, you know, two people in a car or wherever it is, and you felt, you know, not obligated, but you felt, you know, that you're in a particular situation there. And I just learned no means no, but that's what we need to drive into the brains of our kids and our grandkids and all the way down the line. You have to talk to them, and you got to drill that in from early on. On that end, no means no. From the other end, always talk about like what's happening. Tell the stories. Don't hide. You don't have to be apprehensive. You don't have to hide. We're not going to ask you those, you know, try to blame you for something that happened or might have happened or that you just got safely out of. We're going to be happy that you got out of there safely. If something does happen, we want to make sure that we know it. Let's go and let's report it, and let's make sure that that happens. You know, people get prosecuted. People call them out on things that are happening. So we don't get to that degree again. We don't want this to continue for our sake now and for our future. We don't want our grandkids, our kids, our granddaughters, our grandsons. It happened, and I want to make sure that I'm clearly heard. It happens from all angles. All different directions this happens in. It can happen from a woman superior to a male. It can happen, you know, male. I mean, it can happen all, and it's all about power. So whether it's sexual orientation, gender, LBGQ, whatever it is, I don't know. Whatever though it is, it can happen to anyone, and you're either be proactive and let's call it out and let's make things right, or you're going to be one of those that are afraid and are fearful, and you're going to hide in the shadows and hope that this goes away, and it's not going to go away. Things are going to change. So that shadow, we're going to shine a light in that shadow and bring them out in the open, and let's just diminish their power. Okay? See, the clock on the wall says I'm coming down to the last few minutes. So hopefully we can do this. But if you're getting a couple of things along the way, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I kind of got on, this kind of fired me up in the last few days. Let's hit some highlights. Listen to your heart. Your heart's going to guide you. In life, work hard passionately for what you want, and just get out there with passion. Surround yourself with great people, and if they're not great people, get rid of them. Don't be pressured. Don't think that there's a shortcut in life. Surround yourself with great people, and utilize that. Love what you do, and then teach others how to do that and what you know. Share that knowledge with other people and lift them up. And when you lift other people up, you're going to lift yourself up even higher with them. Till next week, have a great week. I'm sorry about last night, but I'm feeling a lot better tonight. A lot of passion tonight, right? Enjoy life. It's warmer here in Wisconsin. For you down in Florida and all the other places, booyah, you're warming up by tons. And for people out in this the California and with the mudslides, our hearts and love are with you, and hopefully you can clean that up and get through that easily. Till next week, have a great weekend. Prosperous. Love you. Bye-bye.
If you like this video, like my Facebook page or subscribe to my YouTube channel, or find everything at davestelma.com.